All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. It is Conversations on Vitality. James Gardner here, as always, with the one and only Ariel Jarvis. Hello. Happy Monday to you, Ariel. All right, gang.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Or wherever this finds people in social media land. Could be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Who knows? Here we go. Today, we're going to continue our kind of a series on the body systems. There are 11 major body systems in the human body, which is a lot to take care of. And one thing that we've been talking about is knowledge is power. So today we're talking about the immune system and the nervous system. So Ariel, let's start with the immune system. I know it's a big thing. Everyone talks about immune system, especially this day and age. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's important to understand what your immune system is comprised of, okay? We understand white blood cells. We understand your nodes, part of your lymphatic system. We understand your vessels and tissues, okay? What about your organs, your protein layers, and different chemicals which send signals and receive messages? These all work together to defend the body against foreign invaders. Okay, your skin is your biggest defense system, and then you have 3 lines of defense. So I call this the army, right? Because if it breaks the first line, just like in gladiator days, hold the line. Right. Well, then we've got the second line, right? So hopefully the second line will hold. And if the second line doesn't hold, well, then we have the third line. And after the third line, well, it's not so good for you. So what is your army? Your army is massive. Okay. And we'll talk about what your army is made up of, the building blocks, and how to feed your army. But your army is located in all these areas that I just mentioned. And this would be part of your immunoglobulins. So your antibodies, your MADGE. Okay. Each one has a specific receptor, which plays a specific role based on if it's a viral attack, a parasite, a bacteria, a fungus or mold, chemical, no matter what that is, a specific receptor will have a specific response. So that's your immunoglobulins, that's your antibodies. Then we have your killer cells. We have your T cells and B cells, your lymphocytes. We have your neutrophils, your macrophages. We have your dendrites. We have your natural killer cells and your mast cells. So there's so much going on. I know. So that's why it's very important that we eat the proper nutrition to support the army so that the army can defend us against foreign invaders. Well, how do you do that? So glad you asked.
Glad you asked.
So obviously we understand vitamins and minerals, your vitamin A, D, E, C, and zinc, quercetin, but protein. Protein is so important because amino acids and essential fatty acids work together to help build the line, to help build that body, that foundation for that immune system. And if you don't eat enough protein and you don't have enough essential fatty acids, remember, it's called essential because you need it every day. Essential means essential. So essential fatty acids or essential amino acids, that's every single day. And a lot of people, they might be surviving on a fast food diet, and so they're not getting those building blocks. And of course, when that line of defense gets broken, the immune system will collapse, right? Because it's hungry. Well, then you also have to take into consideration your ionized water to make sure that we're maintaining a proper acidity level, right? We don't want to be too acidic. We want to be slightly alkaline, 7.35 pH. And we also want to make sure that we are electrifying your immune system. Your immune system doesn't just sit there and not move. It moves. It's mobile. It has kinetic energy. Therefore, you have to ionize it and give it the energy. If your water's dead, your immune system won't have the vitality it needs to move forward, okay? Then you also want to think about your diet, right? Making sure that you're eating properly, you're not overeating all the bad stuff, and your gut microbiome, so your probiotics, very, very important. So those are all just a couple key factors that you want to think about in terms of your nutrition. You can get a lot of those from your nutrition, but if you're somebody on a strict diet, you're vegan, you're paleo, you're Mediterranean, you're whatever that might be, you're carnivore, making sure that you're still getting those fundamentals, just so that you are building up a strong army.
Yeah, and the immune system itself obviously is affected by a lot of things. Nutrition we talked about, but I do know stress. I do know lack of sleep. I do know also from from an athletic performance standpoint, energy out in that arena can suppress the immune system too. And I think so it's a very volatile thing that is affected by a lot of things.
It's constantly resetting and recalibrating, right? That's why you have 3 lines of defense, because usually the first or second can handle those little malfunctions, right? Not getting enough sleep, maybe too much caffeine, too many diuretics, maybe you had a couple too many bubblies on the weekend. Maybe you traveled and you're in an environment where people were sick, like whatever that might be, right? So
I just want to say, I love the analogy of the three lines of the army, because I've always, it just really clicked for me, because I've always looked at it like truthfully, it's never one thing that comes in and wipes us out, usually. Right? It's like chinks in the armor, and it's just, it's like bully in the playground kind of doing this, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And it's interesting because, so having those 3 lines, that's it. It's just like they're getting in there and they're taking their time. And like you said, it's bubbly maybe, or it's lack of sleep. And then, you're overtrained the next day, and maybe you're so stressed and busy that you're not eating properly to fuel. And then boom, it's a snowball, right?
Yeah. Could you imagine if I starved you and for like weeks and weeks, no water, no food, be you like a cookie once in a while, and then threw you out into an army and made you serve the country? You wouldn't feel like be able to hold your own. Like, I don't understand how we expect to have this, incredible immune system. And the people come to me and they're like, I'm always sick. I'm always congested. I'm always this, I'm always that. I'm like, okay, well, let's take a look at your diet. Oh, it can't be the diet. Oh, it can't be the smoking. It can't be the drinking. It can't be all the medications, right?
100%. And before we go to solutions, just to tie it back to something you've been talking about in many lives, I'm going to quote the Ariel Jarvis on this. I think I got it. 70 or 80% of your immune system is determined by the gut, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's huge, people. So let that just
have to feed your gut bugs.
Exactly. Right. So in terms of what you just said, in terms of diet, of course, it would be the first thing that you would look at. I mean, sometimes common sense doesn't really exist. I don't know if there is common sense out there, but starts with nutrition, starts and ends with nutrition. We can move on after that pretty much. But anyway, there is hope. There are solutions. Let's talk a little bit about what people can do for a better working immune system.
And I just want to take into consideration that one healthy meal is not going to, change the game. And one bad meal is not going to change the game. It's about a lifestyle change. It's about consistency, and it's about understanding how to cultivate a healthy pH and a healthy ecosystem within the body, right? You have a garden inside your body, and you have to take into consideration about pH and about the ecosystem. Otherwise, the good bugs will die. And then the bad bugs that want to invade you will thrive, and they'll create more cravings for sugar and fatty foods and all that sort of stuff. And I'm sorry, but alcohol is the catalyst, because alcohol literally throws off your pH for 72 hours, causing the bad bacteria, the bad microbes, all of that to start to thrive, suppressing the good bugs. And now you're craving the fast food. Now you're craving the sugar, where maybe you didn't crave those things before. And now you're like, oh, it's fine. And you start to make these little changes in the wrong direction. And all of a sudden you get run down, you get sick, you get this, you get that. So, it's all about balance, 80-20 rule. Pick your poison, don't pick too many, and don't do it too often, and reset often. Listen to your body.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Lifestyle change.
Yes.
All right. Give us, before we jump into the nervous system, which is a whole other beast, if you will, give us a couple of go-tos that people may be able to jumpstart their immune system, or help rebuild one of those lines quickly. Let's talk about.
Yes. So if you feel like you're getting a little run down, vitamin D, high amounts, 5,000 international units, 5 to 15,000. Do that for a few days with your vitamin A, C, and E, right? Or if you have it where it's already a formulation, take that in high doses for about 5 days. If you have a fever, take a little bit of quercetin, oil of oregano, and drink a ton of water. Try to sustain from eating too much food when you have a fever, because the fever is actually your third line of defense. And so what happens is the third line of defense is actually not manipulated by heat, which means heat will not denature it, but heat will denature any foreign invader. So the third line of defense can handle high heat and not break down. So it's able to create this inferno inside the body and survive while killing off all the bad bugs. So you don't want the body to be taking any excess energy to break down food and metabolize food, because you need all that energy to create that internal bomb to wipe out any foreign invaders.
So the fever, a fever is the third line of defense. Interesting.
Those are the big hitters.
Yeah.
You want those ones.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they're basically just turning up the thermostat
Yeah.
to burn away all the bad bugs.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's just interesting to hear it in that terminology. It kind of creates a visual for me. Oh,
It's like turning up the fire. You're searing everything.
Yeah, searing everything. Overcook it, baby.
Overcook it. Yeah.
All right. Nervous system. Wow. Like central nervous system. It's everywhere. It is us. Let's talk about that.
So first of all, your central nervous system has two branches. It has your somatic system, nervous system, and it has your autonomic nervous system. Okay. This breaks down into your fight or flight, which is your, stress response, and your parasympathetic state, which is your relaxation, digestion, and elimination period. Okay. Your body is only wired to be in fight or flight for 1 hour a day. After that, what happens is it has a hard time resetting because it doesn't understand and it can't calibrate when danger is actually gone. So if you start to feel like maybe you need to do a reset, I'm going to kind of share a couple of things that you can do just to kind of observe your body and see where you're at and see if you do need a reset. So a few things to tell if your central nervous system is a little bit over functioning would be like anxiety, panic attacks, eating disorders, sleep insomnia, getting the shakes but not being caffeinated, so you have this internal vibrate. You're very irritable, nervous, you're really nervous, even nausea, sometimes bathroom issues. Over long term, like chronic, it can turn into Parkinson's, dementia, Alzheimer's, because what happens is it actually swells your amygdala in your brain and it shrinks your dendrites. The dendrites are like the little roots. So if you have roots like this and they're all touching, and then when you've had long chronic stress for too long, they actually shrivel up and they no longer touch. And so now that sensory impulse can't be sent. So there's a delay. So there's a delay in your Wi-Fi, right?
Can they come back?
They can regrow, but you need lion's mane.
Gotcha.
Lion's mane and water is fertilization for the brain. It regrows the dendrites, the axons, the neurotransmitters. It can regrow holes in your brain. It's incredible. It puts everything back together. So it's quite significant. So if you are noticing that you've had low grade, central nervous system disturbance or high grade, then obviously the timeline is going to take a while based on how long the issue's been. But making sure that you're doing the 4 pillars of health for every body system, the 4 pillars of health. This is your checklist for at home. Take a look at your water every single day. Are you drinking ionized water? And is it 1 liter for every 50 pounds you weigh? Are you getting your 7 to 9 hours of sleep, hitting 5 to 6 REM cycles? Are you eating properly? Are you eating every 3-4 hours? And are you meeting your macronutrients that your brain and 11 body systems need to survive? Not your body composition, right? This is not how you look in the mirror or what your number on the scale is saying. This is how you're feeding your body's body systems, okay? So they're two different things. The fourth one is your stress management and your exercise, because exercise expels toxins away from the body systems that are creating sickness in the body systems. And they also, remember, toxins get in the way of cells to be able to communicate. Okay, so you want to get those out. It's like the uncle in the room that you didn't invite to the lunch party or something. Like you just want to like send him home.
Or the wedding guest you didn't invite.
Or the wedding guest that wasn't invited, you know? And then
that wasn't me, by the way, folks. That wasn't me.
No. Bad joke. So these are just a couple ways that you can tell that your body needs a reset, and you need to do an internal observation. Take 5 minutes and just kind of sit with yourself every single day, every 24 hours, and just do a reset and be like, how am I doing? Do I need to do some deep breathing, some grounding, an ice bath? Maybe I need to go for a walk or get some exercise. Maybe I need to drink a cup of tea or drink some water. Maybe I should slow down on the nicotine or the caffeine, or, you know, all the other crazy stuff that people take. You know, just reset your body, listen to your body. And some of the things that will help you with your anxiety, your depression, your bipolar, your schizophrenia, all of this is when you start to reset this nervous system, right? So it all goes back to the root cause, and your nervous system is like the root foundation of the tree. And you can't produce healthy fruit if the roots are rotten.
Yeah.
Right? So we're going to get to the root core. We're going to get to that central nervous system, deal with that inner child, right? So it's very important. So a couple little solutions for you would be take your B vitamins, but make sure they're good quality because some have fillers. You've got your choline and your inositol. You've got your calcium, your magnesium. You've got your zinc. You've got your iron, electrolytes, antioxidants. You've got your L-theanine, your omegas, your probiotics, and your ionized water, right? You can get all of this from your diet. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, your protein, and your greens, your berries, it's all there. So just make sure it's proper portions and make sure you're getting your sleep, your exercise, your water.